Joining us now, former Director of Communication at Downing Street under Tony Blair, of course, Alastair Campbell. Good to see you on Sky News today. So this staunch defence by Sir Geoffrey Cox suggests he will leave his fate to the electorate.
In one of the safest seats in the country. I actually cut my journalistic teeth down in Tavistock on the Tavistock Times, and it's a very, very, very conservative seat. And this argument that the Tories are pumping out today, well, ultimately it's up to the electorate, it's not quite as simple as that. And the electorate will be, they choose their MP and they vote for their party at election time for all sorts of reasons. But the bigger question here is when an MP gets out of bed in the morning and looks at himself in the mirror or is doing makeup or whatever it might be, when they're looking in the mirror, who are they motivated for? Who are they going out there to work for? And I think people will be absolutely, well, maybe not shocked because we know so much from some of the other stuff that goes on. But, you know, how can he possibly be doing the job that he should be doing for his constituents when his priorities so clearly lie elsewhere? And the bigger point I would make, this is a situation now, it's about Boris Johnson, how he does his job, who he is, what his character is, what he allows the MPs to do. Because if you have somebody at the top who has, you know, very loose moral standards, then that spreads, and that, I'm afraid, is what we're seeing happening.
You may agree then with Boris Johnson, who has said that MPs should be visible in their constituencies.
Well, MPs, and particularly Prime Ministers, shouldn't just be visible, they should be accountable and they should be held to account. And of course, Boris Johnson is somebody who hates scrutiny, hates challenge. And what this whole story is about, right back to what we've seen in recent days, Boris Johnson wants to get rid of any organisation that holds him to account. He's contemptuous of Parliament. He's contemptuous of the media, which is from he was a journalist, but he now has utter contempt for anybody who asks him difficult questions. So, look, Geoffrey Cox is the current focus of attention, but ultimately this is about the character, lack of moral probity of the Prime Minister, and the fact that the Conservative Party, one by one, they go out there, they defend him, they say that he's honest when we know he's not, that they say that he's accountable when we know he's not, but they say he has integrity when we know that he doesn't. And let's be frank, I mean, honestly, I see him hopping up to Glasgow today. I don't believe that he's doing that because he's trying to bang heads together on the environment. He's trying to look busy and he's trying to look like he's not got sleaze lapping around his ankles. This is on his watch, and it's his character that is doing fundamental damage to his party. More importantly, the thing that I care about is damaging the country and our reputation in the world.
On the wider aspect, of course, it's not illegal for MPs to have second jobs. Should that continue?
Well, I think that the MPs are pretty well paid. Most people watching this who say they're on £82,000. I think there is, I look at some MPs who do things outside Parliament, and I think some of them actually are useful both to them and to the job that they do. Every time I see Rosina Allen-Khan, Labour MP, talking about the work that she's been doing in the A&E ward as a doctor. I know there are Conservative GPs who keep their work up. But I think we're talking about something completely different here. We're talking about somebody who's making, massive six-figure sums. I heard Sajid Javid defending it this morning. Well, no wonder, because he was on 300 grand from an American bank. And he was asked, I heard him being asked this morning, how does that help his constituents in Bromsgrove? He couldn't give an answer. I think if we heard more about MPs who were doing unpaid work in food banks and unpaid work in care homes, there might be a little bit more understanding of this. So I think we've got to be careful not to say MPs shouldn't do anything other than be MPs. But what we should be able to know is that when an MP is doing his or her job, they are constantly primarily motivated by their constituents. But if you have a Prime Minister who is not motivated by the welfare and well-being of the people, then don't be surprised if that spreads to MPs thinking, well, I'm actually here just to help myself as well.
While you're on, Alastair Campbell, I want to ask you not just about your starring role on Countdown at the moment, but of course the news that our Sky News icon to many, Adam Bolton, is soon to be leaving us, your old sparring partner.
Well, it didn't quite come to blows. I think it's fair to say that one of I imagine that there will be the occasional replaying of a well-known encounter between me and Adam in the 2005 election campaign, 2010 I think it was.
Yeah, 2010, May 2010, wasn't it?
What I would say about Adam is that I think we have had our differences. We've had some pretty fierce arguments down the years, but he's somebody who I respect for his integrity. I think he's got real integrity. I think he works phenomenally hard. And I think I would say he's hard but fair. And I think that he will be missed, I'm sure, by people like yourself and your colleagues. I think he'll be missed by people who watch Sky News as well. And I don't think he'll be missed by Boris Johnson, because Adam actually does believe that it's the job of a journalist to hold the government to account and to hold politicians to account and ask them tough questions. And of course, Boris Johnson doesn't like tough questions. He prefers to hide in fridges.
A widely respected broadcaster, you will agree.
I would.
Alastair Campbell, many thanks indeed for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.